It doesn't even look like it as I stand here behind the camera, but there's well over 100 fish in the 125. Hey, it's Brock here from Uncommon Aquatics, and in the last video, I set up these 3 nano tanks for breeding microfauna. And the shrimp and the scuds and the isopods are all doing good. So far, so good. But I'm immediately realizing that this is an insufficient setup for what I want to do for breeding guppies. So of course, like most fish keepers, I've bred guppies before, but I did it in that lazy, almost accidental way where I just designated a tank for guppies, threw a bunch of random guppies in there, and just noticed that they bred. And that's fine, but what I want to do is a more intentional approach to breed specific colors, specific features, and I want to separate the fry from the parents so that I can reintroduce the fish that I want to breed. And this tank here is where I'm going to keep my breeding pairs. The problem is I can't have the babies in this tank or it would be overcrowded very quickly. So once I got these fish home, I noticed that several of them were already very pregnant, probably at least 3. We're going to take a close-up look in just a minute. I decided what I need to do is take the pregnant females out, put them into their own tank, and that's going to be the tank that the babies live in. Every time I notice a female is very pregnant, she's coming out, she's going into the other tank. Once she has the babies, she can come back in here. Now, over time, I'll be constantly looking for, can I find a better female than this one? Can I find a better colored male and have 6 to 10 nice breeding fish in this aquarium? Then I'll have at least 2 other aquariums for the fry and the fish I'm not as interested in breeding. So right now, I'm going to quickly set up the other tank and show you my plan. So I actually added these fish 5 days ago and realized some of them were already pregnant. Decided to set up another tank for them, and as I'm doing that today, I see that one of these females has already had her babies. And there are baby guppies all over the bottom of this tank. Not as many as I would have expected from that fish, but quite a few. So let's go ahead and get this set up, and we'll move out the still pregnant mamas and the babies. I've got this 5.5 gallon tank. My process for setting this up is to take gravel out of my fully established 125 gallon tank here and use that as the substrate for this, add fresh new gravel into the 125. So that will get me partially cycled, and then I'm going to take and squeeze dirty filter media from the 125 onto my new filter for the 5.5 gallon. And then I'm going to use Aquarium Quick Start, which has that same bacteria in it. So we'll be adding 3 different sources of beneficial bacteria. Now I'm going to add some of this smaller gravel into it just to vary the size. Now we're going to go ahead and set this into place. And it's kind of nestled back into a corner here where it looks like it could be problematic, but this is still pretty easy access for me to get to, and I'm going to be putting some other tanks right in front of it down below, but nothing that sticks out so far that I can't still get good access to that. Now let's go ahead and put a light on it, connected to our timer just like all the others. I've been alternating color spectrums between white, the yellow light, white light. This one's going to have yellow light on it. I hope you guys aren't using dechlorinator in a bottle because it's a huge waste of money. You want to be using sodium thiophosphate crystals. You could dechlorinate aquariums for the next 2 years for the cost of 1 bottle of dechlorinator. Now that we've got our water and substrate in, I'm going to add this beautiful Amazon sword plant. Just drop it right in here and get it rooted into the gravel. Probably need a little bit more dechlorinator. You would not want to take your gravel out of this aquarium with the purpose of seeding that bacteria into the aquarium and then just fill it full of chlorinated water and wait. That chlorine is going to kill that bacteria. So you'll notice the very first water I added had the dechlorinator in it. So I didn't add any water before the dechlorinator. So I got my new air pump, put the check valve in it. Same little sponge filter I've been using. These are $7. Put the air line on it. And we're going to pull some media out of this filter and squeeze that dirty filter water onto this new filter. So I'm a big fan of using plants to clean the aquarium. So here I've got some hornwort and some water lettuce. I bought 1 piece of hornwort and 2 pieces of water lettuce months ago, and they now are covering all of my aquariums. They're so easy. It just grows and grows and spreads, and you don't have to do anything to it. Great plant to help keep this water clean. Then we're going to use API Quick Start. Now I already have enough bacteria in there from the filter and the rocks, but we are going to do this anyway. So now, same thing I did with these 3, which have worked great. I have put 3 sources of beneficial bacteria into this aquarium. Alright, let's get a close-up on these guppies now. Alright, so as we look in here, this guppy right here is most definitely pregnant. Sorry to do it that way, honey. Got that big squared off body. I believe both of those are pregnant too. And in case you're brand new to guppies, it's really not complicated. The males have a longer appendage and the females have a little triangle shaped fin. You can see a bunch of these. There's male. There's a female. She's got a little bit of a bulge. There's a female with a bulge. It feels like about half of these females are already pregnant. This one right here, I believe had her babies yesterday. I believe that was the fattest one that made me decide to get the second tank, and she's already had her babies. But let's see here. This one's pregnant. Let's see. All right. This one. See any more in there that look pregnant? This one with the yellow on the tail is definitely the one that was and now isn't. There's a couple that I'm not sure if they are or not, so I'm going to leave them. That means they might be pregnant, but they're not about to give birth. Whereas these 4 over here, I believe, are about ready to go. You can see they're kind of hard to see where they're at. You can see that they've got those big protruding bellies. What I was trying to avoid was having the babies in here, but they're already in here, so I'm going to see if I can get them out. And we're going to lift this guppy grass out, or this hornwort out. We just caught a whole bunch of guppies in there. This tank is for mamas and babies. And you could say, is it really necessary to mess with these? And it's not. We could leave them. Couple reasons I'm doing it. One is some of these are likely to get eaten, and I don't want these babies to get eaten. They could get eaten by the mothers in this tank too, but maybe less likely. Reason number 2 for doing this is you're going to end up with overpopulation if you just continuously leave these baby fish in here. It wouldn't happen immediately, so we could wait and take them out in 2 weeks or a month if they don't get eaten. So my plan for the guppy breeding is to always keep the best 10 to 12 guppies that I have in this tank. Right now, these are the best colored, largest reproductive ready fish that I have. But if I get a really orange female out of this litter, then she can replace this one that's got more yellow. And I really like all these solid orange males. I like the orange color. But if I find long-finned orange over time, they might replace those. So these will always be my best breeder fish. Then this will be a mama tank where the mamas have babies. As the babies get bigger, they will get taken out of here into a third tank. So I think I need a minimum of 3 tanks to get started with breeding and selectively breeding these guppies. If anybody's interested, I'll give you a full tank shot on the 125. So we've got a ton of activity in here. There's a lot of cool fish species that you're not going to be able to just see right away because they're at top water or they're hiding, something like that. But I'll be doing a full breakdown of what's in here soon. We've got a lot of fish. It doesn't even look like it as I stand here behind the camera, but there's well over 100 fish in the 125. Alright, so I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.